Hello, my name is Dana Dotson, and I will be going over my research topic, which is the advantages and disadvantages of genetically modified foods. First, I would like to give a brief history of the GMOs, then I'll go into pros and cons, and then we will go into the risk factors, and I'll discuss the organic side. Okay, so to start off with a little history, the World Health Organization states that GMOs can be defined as organisms due to their genetic material, which is the DNA, being altered in a way that does not occur naturally by mating and or natural recombination. The technology for this process is often called modern biotechnology or genetic engineering. This process allows individual genes to be transferred from one organism to another, also between non-related species. GM foods are developed and marketed due to there being some perceived advantage to either the consumer or producer of these foods. This is meant to translate the product into a product with a lower price and a greater benefit in the terms of durability or nutritional value, or both. The seed developers initially wanted their products to be accepted by producers and concentrate on innovations that bring direct benefit to the farmers. The GM crops that are currently on the market are mainly aimed at an increased level of crop protection through the introduction of resistance against plant diseases caused by insects or viruses through increased tolerance through herbicides. Herbicides tolerance is achieved through the introduction of a gene from a bacterium conveying resistance to some herbicides. The safety of food, whether it is genetically modified or conventional, is still important and contain certain measures which have to be taken to ensure it is. National food authorities may be called upon to examine the safety of such conventional foods obtained from novel varieties of organisms, but this may not always be the case. There are specific systems that have been set up for the rigorous evaluation of GM organisms and GM foods relative to both human health and the environment. The WHO Department of Food Safety aims at assisting national authorities in the identification of foods that should be subject to risk assessment and to also recommend appropriate approaches to safety assessments. Globally, only a tenth of the world's crop land includes GM plants. The federal government passed a law in 2016 requiring labeling of GM ingredients in food products, replacing GM labeling laws in several states. The public has been worried about the safety of GM foods since scientists at the University of Washington developed the first genetically modified tobacco plants in the 1970s. When the first GM crop reached the market in the mid-1990s, there were a number of celebrity chefs that took a stand against them. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, along with its counterparts in several other countries, has reportedly reviewed large bodies of research and concluded that GM crops pose no unique health threats. Some scientists believe that Alzheimer's disease and many cancers have environmental components, but there are few that would argue all of them have been scientifically identified. Many moderate voices call for continuing the distribution of GM foods while maintaining or stepping up the safety testing on new GM crops. Now we're going to go into the pros and cons. And I'm just going to list a few because there are many out there. There are pros and cons to GM foods as they are with everything else. According to manufacturers, the pros of GMOs are spend less money producing more food, use less pesticide and herbicides, knowledge of generic alterations, and decrease food prices. The cons are, which was based on an unbiased research, create super weeds that have evolved a resistance to glyphosate, a common herbicide in GMO food production, allergic reactions, changing agriculture, and trade issues. The risk factors. Children face the greatest risk from the potential dangers of GM foods. Their bodies develop at a fast pace and are more likely to be influenced and show the effects of genetically modified foods. That is why independent scientists use young adolescent rats in their GM feeding studies. The rats showed significant health damage after only 10 days, including damaged immune systems and digestive functions, smaller brains, liver, and testicles, partial atrophy of the liver, and potentially precancerous cell growth in the intestines. Children are 3 to 4 times more prone to allergies than adults. GM corn is particularly more problematic for children as they generally eat a higher percentage of corn in their diet. Now, the last topic I will discuss is from the organic side. Lately, you might hear in society where a lot of people prefer organic foods. But sometimes, just because an item may say organic, you have to pay attention to the labels because it's different tiers to the organic side. Many people have become aware of the harmful side of GMOs and decided to go completely organic. Just because a food is organic does not mean they're free from GMOs. When purchasing 100% organic, certified organic, or USDA organic labeled products, it's the safest way to avoid purchasing a product that contains genetically modified ingredients. When the label says 100% organic, then it must contain 100% organically produced ingredients, excluding water and salt. This is when you know that this product is completely organic and does not contain any GMO ingredients. When the label reads certified organic, there's at least 95% of the ingredients that are organic, but the other 5% must consist of ingredients that have been approved by the USDA. And lastly, the labels that say made with organic, there's up to 75% of the ingredients that are organic, but these products cannot use a USDA organic label. However, the other ingredients are produced without the prohibited practices, in which includes genetic engineering. Even though some products are organically processed, there's always a chance for things to get cross-contaminated. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and this concludes the end of it. Thank you.